Big data, Netflix, and the meaning of life. Go home and integrate. This is, of course, easier said than done, but that's what I've been trying to do ever since. To achieve this, there are certain facets of the setup that I think are key. The MT engines that I provide my clients with have to provide a high level of confidentiality, and they have to be tailor-made. Currently, employees all over the world are throwing confidential and semi-confidential information into Google or Bing, well, because they have no alternative. And you can't train Google the way you can train your own engines. This allows us to provide our client engines with client-specific terminology, so it really speaks their language. And what is life too short for? Well, I would say operating with multiple MT vendors. For most of us, we're quite simply too small and we don't have the resources or the know-how to mix and match. Find a good one and stick with them. Old-fashioned? What do I mean by that? I suppose deep down I'm an old-fashioned boy, and I think that a translation agency should employ, well, translators. I'm always reminded of this when visiting one of my own clients, Grundfos in Denmark. Here, every day you have to walk through the production facility to get to the restaurant for lunch. This reminds everyone why marketing, translators, admin staff, finance, everyone has a job. And for me, it's the same with in-house translators. They remind project managers, the sales force, vendor managers, all of us, why we have jobs. It makes it all more hands-on. And let's not forget academia. At TextMinded, we have worked closely with a local university to see how our translators react to the introduction of MT in workflows, all the way down to seeing how eye movement changes when a translator has to consider both a TM and an MT hit option, and how different translators react to the same text. How does it influence the way they translate, etc. And of course, we have to take our own medicine. We use MT in-house at TextMinded as part of our communication package. We're based in Denmark, but have Chilean, New Zealand, Polish and Swedish colleagues. In-house MT on our intranet is there to assist everyone to be able to write English language emails and translate them to their own language, or vice versa. So, what are we? Translation companies or technology companies? Well, I'd argue, first and foremost, we're technology companies, and your budgets, every year, should reflect this. And of course, it's easier said than done. One sees the theory, the other's the practice, and we won't be the first people fighting with technology. The first published account of a 3D printer came out in 1982, and we're still waiting for 3D printers to change the world as we know it. Research into machine translation started in the early 1950s, and the first MT conference was held in 1956. That's 60 years ago. But now, Google Translate helps users translate the equivalent of over 1 million books a day. And SDL has told me that LSPs would be scared out of their wits if they knew the extent to which freelancers use the free SDL Be Global MT engines. So, it seems, everyone's doing it except the LSPs. To end where we started, with big data. I follow LinkedIn's Big Data group, and this was a lead discussion one day while I was working on this presentation. The header was, "When real time is no longer good enough." In our industry, we are still discussing how to deal with real-time translation. The world, on the other hand, is already saying, been there, done that. Tell us rather what we should be spending our money on getting translated. Tell us what values we need to communicate to our stakeholders. Act as partners, consultants, advisors, not as a cost center. So, what is the scale of your dreams for your company, and what is good enough for you tomorrow? On a final philosophical note, a quote from Ernst Cassirer: "When compared with our own abundance, the past may seem very poor, but our wealth of facts is not necessarily a wealth of thoughts." My My name is Robert Etches from TextMinded. Thank you for listening to this presentation.